In this video, we're going to be taking a look at this Mylivell LED flashlight gloves. We're going to go through all the pros and cons, help you decide if these are right for you. So let's get right to it. These things are really cool in just the fact that they are an alternative to a traditional headlamp. So you have a light source while your hands are free to do things. So some of the popular uses for something like this are night fishing, if you're tying fishing knots in the dark, if you're camping, you're doing auto repair, home repair even. I've seen them being used while jogging, shoveling snow in the dark, etc. There's a lot of uses for something like this, so it's a really cool idea and something that me personally, I'm like, well, why didn't I think of this? It's a great idea, but it's the execution there, and that's what I want to talk about too. But first, let's talk about waterproofness. That's one of the things I really like about these LED flashlight gloves is they are waterproof, so that's great. We just talked about maybe shoveling snow in the dark, using it for plumbing uses, fishing, all activities that you'll be near water sources, so it is nice. Let's talk about the fit though. So you can see I have it on my one hand here, and to put it on, it's literally just inserting my two fingers into these little holes and then just wrapping it around my wrist and Velcroing it just like that. What I will say is it's not the most comfortable thing in the world. It's not like, they're called gloves, but they're really not gloves. They don't protect your hand in any way. I would think it would be difficult to put these on if you were wearing gloves underneath. So that's honestly probably the biggest con of these is it's a little bit awkward of a design, just kind of wrapping it around your fingers, then your wrist. It's nice in the heat in the summer. If I'm fishing, that's great use for this because my hands are free. I don't need gloves while I'm fishing. But if you're doing auto repair, if you're shoveling snow, things like that, you might want gloves, and these really aren't gloves. They're not gonna protect your hands in any way. They're not gonna keep your hands warm in any way. So that's something important to consider when purchasing these. Is they're not uncomfortable, but they're definitely not super comfortable at all. I would have preferred a more traditional glove style than this, which is wrapping around your fingers and your wrist there. So let's talk about brightness. I'm gonna show you here. Of course, we're in the daylight right now, so it's not gonna be as noticeable, but you can see those are the two lights there. You have one on your thumb and one on your index finger. And, they're a decent brightness, but they're nothing that's really going to be as bright as a headlamp or a traditional flashlight there. It's just controlled by this singular on-off button that you just press once to turn off, once to turn on. And you can see these would be good for up-close things. Again, fishing knots, fantastic for plumbing, anything, auto repair even. I would feel like these would be bright enough to give you a little extra light while keeping your hands free. But what they're not gonna be great for is lighting up a lot of things in the dark. Even if you're shoveling snow outside, it's probably not that bright, giving you a real good light source if for anything far away. But they're bright enough to be seen. If you wear these jogging, you'll make yourself more visible, but don't expect them to replace a traditional flashlight because you can see they're more good for things right in front of you right there. So not overly bright, but bright enough to get jobs near you done. So finally, I want to talk about runtime. That's one of the things I'm impressed by is for the little batteries in here, it does have a decent runtime. You'll get 30 hours of runtime out of this before you need to replace the batteries. They're not rechargeable. You don't plug them in. You just replace little round watch style batteries in here. And it comes with a screwdriver, so you can be able to open these right there and replace the batteries there. Overall, decent option depending on what you're gonna do with them, but just keep in mind, it's not a traditional glove, so you may or may not like this, and it's much better for lighting things up right in front of you than it is in the distance. So there you go. I hope this video was helpful in helping you determine whether these are right for you.